Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing today? Hope we had a very restful weekend. I'm just going to check that we are broadcasting live on Facebook and everybody can see me clearly. Fantastic. I can see everybody can see me clearly. Fine. If you're checking in and you're with us this morning, please type it in on the chat box. Let's see where you're checking in from. For the people that are just joining us for the first time, my name is Lukman Akombi, called The Switch. I'm a mindset success coach, and today we're going to be taking you on what we've been doing the whole year, every morning, starting our week with a mindset perspective. I'm going to take this opportunity to wish everybody a very happy Global Money Week. Yes, it's Global Money today. The Global Money Week today. So one of the reasons why I chose this particular topic today was because during the Global Money, we're going to look at how the top 1% think. Yes, how the top 1% think. Because there's always going to be a ladder in our life. And for some, there'll be people at the top and also there'll be people at the base. But one thing I can tell you is you alone will determine where on the ladder you want to be. If you're going to be at the top, or you're going to be at the base. So if you're joining us today, put it in the chat group where you're joining from. I'm broadcasting from Toronto, Canada. Spring is officially here. Today we got 16 degrees. Can you imagine? Fantastic, beautiful weather. I wish I think I'm going to walk outside today anyways. All right, so let's get straight into today's topic. How do the 1% think? This will bring me back to 2010. Yeah, 2010, the summer of 2010. Actually, that was the first time I actually got wind of that phrase. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with the CeBIT fair that happens yearly in Germany. So I was attending, and at that particular year, one of the main focus for me and my partner that we went was to go and identify, or explore new opportunities that we can add into our business, or even new services that we can add into our existing business to scale it up, or look for new products that we can actually use to start another income stream. So obviously we attended most of the business seminars taking place during the fair just to spur us up and help us drastically work our mindset, to be able to see the new opportunities. I'm sure you all know what I mean, right? So during the fair, we met lots of motivational speakers. We attended a lot of speaking opportunities. Quite a few speakers were there, but one particular speaker, I can't really recollect his name now. He said something that really resonated with me and caught my attention. He said, if you want to become as successful as Bill Gates or Carlos Slim, then you need to think like the top 1%. At this time, those were the two richest people in the world, which was it was oscillating between Bill Gates and Carlos Slim. That's the telecoms billionaire. And hearing that, I'm like, first 1%. So there is a top 1% in this world. Who are they? What do they do? Why are they called the top 1%? What are their attributes? Is this a club? Is this a members only club? How do I become a part of this club? This kept on ringing in my head, at different times in my career. And years later, I was able to identify that the people at the top hierarchy of the financial ecosystem, which are the most wealthiest and the most successful people in the world, are classified as the top 1%. Recently, I did a research about successful people, paying attention and emphasis to reading about their biography, watching their biopics, listening to a bunch of podcasts, and I discovered a few things about how this 1% people think. Now, what's important is that the top 1% aren't just working harder than the bottom 99%. That's fact. You can't grunt your way to the top. High level of success do require hard work, but the work must be smart too. Very, very important. And I also want you to know the top 1% aren't the smartest, or they are more capable than others. But what's important is they do use their time wisely, and then they manage them effectively. They manage their time wisely, and they manage themselves effectively. Right. Those are one of the things I discovered that's, pretty much brought them, separated them from the pack. These are the attributes I've noticed. It's putting them on top of the ladder, while others are either at the base or just trying to climb the ladder. So today I'm going to walk us through some of the differences between the mindset of the top 1% and everybody else. One of the things I noticed with the top 1% is that being the only one is better than being the best. Being the only one is better than being the best. And this, during my research, this brought me into thinking about one of my cousins that had a supermarket in Nigeria in the early 2000s. I think she left Nigeria 2012. She opened a supermarket in 2001, and then she relocated to Europe after with her family in 2012. She was a retailer of a fast consumer brand, and she was experiencing very high volume sales until another retailer of the same brand opened shop next to her. My cousin was a bit, upset, but she didn't get that into her head. She immediately scaled up her business and pitched tent to be a service provider for Just Ladies Hair brand. And at that time, I could remember I was also back in Nigeria at that time trying to set up my telecoms business. And, when she was going through all these competitive challenges, we spoke about it and pretty much brainstorm about, creating our own niche in this and just focusing on the ladies. And instead of being a general consumer market right now, and allowed them to niche down to just the ladies and now give them a bespoke service, get towards them. And trust me, it was like she experienced a new level of success. Where I'm trying to go is, while the average person wants to be successful and is concerned about being the best, the ultra successful people find ways to avoid competition. Rather, they look for ways to be the only one in the market or in the field. I'm going to bring us to recent times. Apple. Apple is still on the top of the ladder for smartphone. On the smartphone table, they're still at the top of the ladder. Why? Because they are the only smartphone brand that uses the iOS operating system. Think about it. Because of that, competition has been able to grow, but they still were able to maintain market leadership. Because if you are the only one in your niche, or you are the only one producing your products, you pretty much have no competition. Let me give you another clear scenario. Just imagine how much more customers and how much more sales Amazon will have if we didn't have Alibaba, we didn't have Etsy. Just imagine if Amazon had no competition and they were in a niche market doing what they're doing now and the only one doing it globally. Just imagine. But because they are the best, but they're not the only one. So as opposed to trying to be the best at what you do, if you want to be part of the 1%, think of a new product or think of a new audience. Think of new services. Ensure that at least those new products, new services, new target market, new audience, is just you servicing them. And with that, you kind of create like a monopoly, which will ultimately result into exponential growth and success for you. Another similarity I noticed with the top 1% is they start their day very early. Apple CEO Tim Cook, the Disney boss Robert Iger, and a host of a lot of other Fortune 500 company presidents. Most of them wake up before 5 a.m. Yeah. I do not think it's a ritual that you have to do and automatically, and because you do it, you automatically, succeed, or success will find you because now you're waking up at 5 a.m. No. Rather, psychologists say that human beings have more enthusiasm to be creative. They have more enthusiasm to do good works in the early hours of the day. So, while the other 99% are trying to reset their alarms, while they're waking up to go wee and get back to bed, or just lying down on their bed staring at their ceiling, top 1% are already at work and already at it. Jeff Bezos of Amazon says, the best time to think productively is in the early hours of the day. One of his interviews I heard about the secret of success says, go to bed early, wake up early, because morning hours are good for thinking. So waking up early inspires you because there are lesser distractions from family, lesser distraction from the business, lesser distraction from your team, which gives you ample time to commit to powerful thinking, to create great work. Yeah. So while all the other 99% are still trying to figure out what to do with their day, what to do with their week, what to do with their month, top 1% are already doing it. They're busy already. By the time you're waking up at 7 a.m., 6:30 a.m., they've pretty much written 1,500 words already of what they're going to achieve for the day. They have enthusiasm in the morning and make most of the early hours. Very, very important. So it's a big attribute if you want to set yourself apart from the 99%. Waking up early is very key because in the early hours of the morning, that's where you are most productive. Okay, I see some people joining us. Yemi Orolugbagbe is checking in. Jomo is watching. You can just tap into the chat. Let us know where you're calling from, where you're checking in from. I know Jomo is checking in from Montreal. If I could remember, Yemi is based in Atlanta, I think. Anyway, welcome. This morning, we're talking about what sets apart the 1% at the top from the other 99%. What are the similarities they have, and what we need to adopt to start making ourselves, to start climbing the ladder towards becoming part of the 1%. Another important factor that I discovered is that action trumps knowledge. That's correct. Knowledge is good, but taking action is really the key to success. I remember one time I had a conversation with one of the former chefs at Giza. Very enthusiastic young man. He's been with us for quite a minute. He's opened most of the Giza branches in Kenya and even in Toronto. He was one of the smartest guys around. He's always been the restaurant go-to guy. When all other employees need ideas or a strategy. Chef Hell, as he's fondly called, knows about philosophy, spirituality, wealth creation. He knows a lot. But none of the knowledge he has reflects much around him. And that's because his knowledge is potential, but it's not emotion. It's not emotion. He has all these great ideas, but he doesn't put them in motion as much. Knowledge is great, but it does not bring success. High-level success is reached by taking action. Very, very important. Top 1% people follow their great plans with aggressive implementation and not just finely knitted quotes from the scripts of great authors. No, it doesn't cut it. Affirmations are good only when you take actions. Goal settings are good only when you take actions. So One thing I don't want you to misquote me or misconstrue what I'm saying is that gaining knowledge is bad. No, gaining knowledge is extremely good. You need to upgrade your skills. You need to acquire knowledge to be able to do a lot. But what's important is for you to be able to translate what you know to commensurate actions that will transform your life. Yes. So having all this knowledge without you taking action towards, executing them to transform your life is like having just knowledge. Knowledge is everywhere. Lots of people outside the top 1% actually know a lot already. There are tons of information online, tons of information on Google, but simple actions is what is keeping them from the top of the ladder. They spend their time on the base learning all those things, but they don't take action. And without action, you will not start climbing that ladder. So knowing what you need to know and then get busy making it happen is really the key. When you find people that they just like to study, just keep, they have this unquenchable thirst for knowledge, trust me, it's often fear of either failure or success in disguise. So guys, like I said, knowledge is good. It's important for you to be rounded with knowledge, but it ain't going to take you nowhere if you don't take action. It's actions that determine the results. Okay? Another important one is goals. Setting goals and achieving them by introducing systems into what you do. Billionaires investors once said, when you hire people, the atmosphere will determine their growth. Yes. Internal clients, external clients. Story. This is going to be another topic for another day. Internal clients and external clients. But systems are the game changer for the wealthy and the successful. They understand that habits, events, opportunities, and all the factors that influence their success must be repeated. And the only way to achieve all of this is by creating a functional system in your environment. It's very, very important. Systems are structures that are implemented so there can be a cycle of personal or organizational culture. Okay? In my team, I have a 6-man team on my coaching consult, with most of them working remotely. But every Monday, we have time, we review our goals, we set new ones, and that's putting a system in place. The right systems will get the best out of people. The right system helps them become more productive and help them achieve their goals automatically. Okay? In this day and age whereby we have a lot of people working from home, a lot of people having to manage their own time personally because they're not in the work environment. As an employer, I think it's important that you create a system so you are able to track. And actually, the system is not really for you to be able to track, but it's for you to be able to create a system that will help them track what they're doing and help them stay productive and focused in achieving their deliverables. The CEO of Google says, systems drive ambition. Systems spurs creativity and ultimately creates a growth mindset. Yes. So if you want to go up the ladder to join that 1%, you have to create a system around what you do. You can't allow your team to be guessworking all the time. There has to be a system that they can follow through. Another thing I find very, very, very common amongst the top 1% is their priorities. They have very good priorities and have less things to distract them, which in turn make them to be more effective. It's very difficult to manage your time and make progress when you don't have clear priority. It actually becomes overwhelming when you take so much responsibility And really, that's how procrastination starts to set in. That's how you can easily develop being overwhelmed. That's how you easily develop anxiety. So it's better to focus on the major things first, then the less major things after. But the key thing is making sure that you put everything in tiny bits, so that will help you to empower your focus. The key goal of priorities is why companies have departments. The key goals is why companies have units, and that's the reason why companies have different organizational function. No footballer, for instance, wins the best midfielder, the best defender, top striker, best goalie at the same time. You understand? Same thing. You can't be the world class artist at the same time, and also be the world class bowler and yoga trainer all in one go. No. Truth is that our ability to move forward and accomplish our goals oftentimes depends on what we decide to prioritize. So it's important to be clear on our priorities, because we'll be able to make better and quicker decisions that will guide, excuse me, that will guide our life choices. Having too many priorities, to me, I believe, is part to mediocrity. Too many priorities is part to not really wanting to take action, because you get confused sometimes in a way. So it's always better start your priorities and take them one by one. Another thing I find very common with the top 1% is networking. They make that a priority. For them, relationships are natural for success, and they are the most integral factor on the road to success. We see that most successful people in the world today, they get their opportunities from their network. Many of us don't know is that your network actually market your skills. They sell you to people. They sell your ideas to people who can actually fund them. Not to mention the overwhelming support you get from these relationships. I'm part of a group of coaches, about 62 or 65 in number, and that network is pretty much my resource base for tapping in a lot of things. So I believe in any field we're trying to do, networking is very critical. The kind of people in our network will easily determine the level of success we will achieve in life. So it's important you make sure that you find yourself in an environment whereby the people there, the network you are with, resonates with your goals. So you have to be deliberate about your network. Your network must be optimistic, and it must be filled with goal-oriented people. Yeah? Good networking skills also can be learned by anyone. So I know I have a lot of clients that tell me they're introverts, they're da 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 da. Nah, anybody can network. You don't have to be an extrovert to network. Okay? There are lots of skills out there. There are lots of courses out there that you can actually procure that will help you understand how to handle networking with people in your industry. Yeah. So having long-term acquaintances, it's very, very powerful, because they become a source of constant supply for assistance and opportunities. Okay? Knowing the right people is what I found is one of the most important parts of becoming the top 1%. The big star from Barbados, Rihanna, said a childhood friend introduced her to Jay-Z and the Def Jam team. And the rest today is history. We all know where Rihanna stands we all know where she stands on the ladder in the music industry. So to succeed in life, you will need the support of a goal, oriented network. To succeed in life, you will need the support of a goal-oriented network who is tasked and ready to influence and nurture you to greatness. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me just check in with the team. Let me see who's joining us here today. All right. I see Mobin. Mobin is checking in from Pakistan. I know that. Obina, please, Obina, let us know where you're checking in from. Put it on the group. Welcome to Mindset Monday. Another important one, before I continue, I want to reset the room. Today, we're talking about how the top 1% think, because today starts the International Global Money Week. So I felt it was important to start seeing how the guys that control the money ecosystem, how are they thinking, and how do we start to adopt some of their commonalities and start to apply it into our own business. We've spoken about I think six different commonalities they have. The first one being that the top 1% don't believe that the best is good enough. They believe in monopoly. Being the only one is better than being the best. And I know the second one is very important. They start their day very early. Most of them start their day around 5 a.m. or before 5 a.m. While others are still sleeping, they've already finished, pretty much their whole plan for the day. And another important commonality amongst the top 1% is taking action towards what they've acquired in terms of knowledge. They don't sleep on information, and they take aggressive action to execute whatever knowledge or information that they have come across that they think will pivot their business to the next level. They don't procrastinate as much. They take action. Another one we looked at is how they've been able to implement systems to help them achieve their goals. It's very, very critical. Implementing systems in your business and establishment to help you achieve your goals. Another one we looked at is making priorities very important to you. And lastly, we spoke about how networking is a priority for you to achieve ultimate success. I'm going to talk about another one, which is also very key, which is being aware of our weaknesses. To be a part of the top 1%, you have to be aware of your weaknesses. The copywriter on my team knows very little about SEOs. But then the webmaster begins to talk about keyword optimizations. He puts off his mic, as we're always on Zoom call. He's, however, so good with writing content that more people are taking actions from our newsletter and other marketing assets. He also has a lot of clients that regularly reach out to him to help with newsletters, blog posts, video script, etc. But one of the biggest pieces of advice I give my client is to play to their strengths. A lot of people focus on their weaknesses and they don't even have the time to sharpen their strengths. Bill Gates knew he couldn't sell, but he could develop tech products. So he focused on product development and brought in Paul Allen on the team as a salesperson. And today you can see the significant success they both achieved by focusing on their strengths. So guys, if you want to win, if you want to excel, if you want to stand out, you are going to have to take your strength very seriously. The top 1% know that the top 1% clearly knows what they can and what they can't do. They avoid their weaknesses and find a way to deal with them and focus all their energy by playing to their strengths. Another thing is they focus on long term. They delay gratification until they become highly successful. So if you are going to be a high flyer, then you must learn to delay gratification. Successful people hold back on the short-term gain. They don't buy a Lamborghini once they get funding or start to book a first-class return ticket to Amsterdam, after they just won their first Oscar. Rather, they keep their eyes on the grand prize. Yes, keep their eyes purely focused on the grand prize. Brian Tracy, one of the renowned business coaches out there, says, delayed gratification for long-term reward is the indispensable prerequisite for success. The highly profiled mentor advises his clients to hold back from buying their first car or moving to a new apartment uptown or increasing their salary as CEO. Successful people save and invest for the future. It's normally harder at first, but they don't give up tomorrow for today's fun and enjoyment. Let the average people satisfy their short-term cravings while you keep your eye on the grand prize. Lastly, they are entrepreneurial and they are solution-oriented. You wonder how exercising an entrepreneurial mindset could help you achieve success in your personal life? Well, money has a role in your being successful and influential in life. You know that. With money, you can find more freedom to be productive. With money, you can be inspired for more ideas. So successful people always think of solutions to existing challenges because they know people will always pay money to get their problem solved. So as opposed to just thinking of going to the movies or to the coffee store or spending a large part of their income at the fashion store, no, they commit to coming up with ideas that will add value to humanity. Let's take Jeff Bezos, for instance. Jeff teaches that continuous innovation is the driving force behind Amazon's success. So, guys, if you are going to be among the top 1%, then you have to develop your entrepreneur's habits. That's correct. So, guys, all these 9 tips are my findings of what's keeping this top 1% up the ladder. And a lot of these attributes are what the 99% are not doing intentionally, and that's why they're struggling either to climb the ladder or to get to the top. One thing I want you to know, though, is anyone can become part of the top 1%. It just requires a change in thinking and focus. Set your priorities and stick to them. Importantly, you manage your money wisely and network like your life depends on it. Focus on developing the right systems to achieve your goals and emphasize action. Very key, action. Because only action will bring you the result you truly desire. All right, we're going to call it a wrap here today. I hope you all have been able to learn a few things on how the top 1% think. Going into next month, we're going to be starting a 5-day challenge to help us start our Q2. If you've already set your goals, that's fine. But I will encourage everybody to join this 5-day challenge. It's a 5-day challenge focused on goal setting boosting. We're going to go through all the 5 steps of how to set your goals, implement and achieve your goals. I'm going to be having different speakers every day, going to be talking on different aspects of goal setting. So this is one challenge you really want to be part of. And I'm sure you're going to learn loads of it, and it's going to also help you start your Q2 well. If you had missed the boat in Q1, it's not too late. You can actually start taking action from Q2. So guys, I'm going to call it a wrap here today. If you're not currently part of our Success Mindset, I'll encourage you to join the Success Mindset Club. And I'll also encourage you to follow my Mindset podcast every Wednesday. All right, stay blessed. And it's your coach, Luke Man.